Respect isn't always instantly granted just because you're the GM. Also, respect to you as a GM isn't even always based on your skill as a GM. On today's episode of Ked's Corners, here are some things you can do as a GM to get that respect from the rest of your table. It involves a bullwhip. Trust me. No. Yes. Before we continue, don't forget it is now the law everywhere in the world that you must subscribe to me and hit that little alert bell. No, don't fact check what I said. No, don't. Just trust me. You have to. I'm Canadian. Whether it's a custom house rule, how you handle certain situations, or just how the game is run, if you don't have a certain level of stable consistency to your game, your players will view your table as chaotic and messy. It doesn't mean you have to stick with rules as written, but if you set expectations that some house rule you made is true in a campaign, stay consistent for the campaign. Don't change it on a whim. Constantly changing player expectations at the table is rarely a good thing unless you're making an exceptional scenario where that is the point of that scenario. If a player does the same thing multiple times in a row, they want to know the same set of rules apply to that action. If you run things stably, the players will respect your decisions. Don't allow your sentences to get cut off. This doesn't mean you should cut other people off. If they're saying something, let them have their turn. But if you start to speak and someone cuts you off, if you stop speaking, it subconsciously triggers to others that your sentence wasn't as important, that the other person's thoughts were worth a higher level of respect. This can lead to being interrupted or cut off further in the future. So when you are speaking, if someone else chimes in, continue your sentence until completion. You can even increase your volume a little. Don't yell. And whatever you do, don't rush to finish the sentence. Just continue to speak at your normal pace. That way, it shows your thought was worth completing. And if the person that interrupted you then asked you to clarify what you said because they weren't listening, because they were interrupting you, that helps signal to the others that maybe your thoughts were the important one in that interaction. Continue this trend, and it's more likely that the others at the table will respect your words enough as the GM in the future that you will get interrupted less. You are the world, the gods, the force of nature. You are every open field, every monster, every tavern NPC, every insect. You make the story, the encounters, the traps. You are the multiverse that the players experience. But in the end, you have the biggest job of them all, because in the end, you recognize it's not about you. As a GM, there's only one scenario where you win, and that's when everybody has fun and enjoys themselves. Tailor items and scenarios to the characters. Alternate between easy gravy encounters and challenging ones. Sometimes giving the players an easy win is exactly what they need. Pay attention to your players' emotional states and plan your in-game events accordingly. Did you notice recently that Jerry's a little down? Plan a hard encounter, but one that plays well with his character's strengths. It still feels like you were challenging them, but Jerry felt appreciated and needed in the group. For a few hours, he got to escape from his troubles, and you did that. That is how you win, by recognizing that in the end, the game is about the group, not you. Did you incorporate a house rule, or a decision, or a monster that is seriously screwing up the game? I've done it, and that's okay. If you just let it ruin your game, the players are going to think you can't handle things when they pop up. You'll earn more respect by simply stating, well, that didn't work. So here's the deal. We're going to switch this up. I'm declaring it now so there's no surprises in the future. Sound good? This isn't breaking your stable consistency rule unless you're doing it constantly. Because if you want to change your mind, but set player expectations that this is happening and everyone is informed, then you're still setting yourself up to be consistent while admitting you need to change something. This shows you're in control and constantly improving. People respect that. No one is perfect, and showing that you screwed up is not only fine, but lets people relate to you a little bit more. Hopefully that will help you earn a little extra respect at the table. I think it will. These tips have certainly helped me in the past. If you would like to support this channel, don't forget to check out patreon.com/kedhup. I have multiple tiers there, including what to do in my future videos. If you have any suggestions or even requests, if you're a high enough tier, hey, try it out. And if not, I just like people hanging out. I like people just joining in the conversation. Feel free to type below if you have any comments about this video or any other tips that you might have about adding to the GM earning respect. All right, and as always, stay healthy, stay safe, and have a good one, eh?